Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. On behalf of Mr. Pardon.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson.
Full counsel, Anthony, Mr. O'Brien, Ms. Rouse, Mr. Coolin. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Please excuse me, I'm always clearing my throat. I hope that doesn't bother you too much. I've had an episode that occurred in my life, and because of some bad habits I had, I'm paying for them. I smoked for 50 years, and I didn't stop, and I didn't believe what people said, so I'm paying the price for that. So I hope you bear with me, because a lot of times my lungs don't operate like they used to. Pieces of the puzzle. The theme of this case. Pieces of a puzzle. Connecting the dots. As Judge McIntosh told you, Mr. O'Brien will admit, what I'm about to say and what he said is not evidence. The evidence in this case will come from here. You look, and the thing you have to be wary of, and what me and my co-counsel relied upon, Mr. Pardon relied upon, was your answers in terms of you promised us that you would listen, that you would pay attention as we discussed to all the details. The thing that's very harmful is if you already have your mind made up, or you base your considerations on three things, which Judge McIntosh will tell you, and he's going to give you instruction on, it's not proper. You cannot be influenced by sympathy. So you see what happened out here, and everybody knows as a human being, you're going to feel something. But you can't base your decision on how you view the evidence because of what happened to her. You can't base it on bias. Why? Because when you're filling in pieces of a puzzle, if you already are filling in these pieces based on the bias, you are going to supply the missing pieces for the state line. If you're looking at this and say, well, you know what, no, this should, you are not going to hold the state to their burden. You are going to start filling in pieces. When pieces are missing, they got to show you a picture of an ocean with a boat, and all you see is blue, and you feel a certain way, you'll fill in that boat. The state of Ohio, in the puzzle that they present to you, have an obligation to fill in every piece of the puzzle. Not for you to come in and be a detective and solve anything. You don't have to solve nothing. If they don't present this picture to you complete, then you must acquit. It's not connecting no dots and dots and dots. If you're not convinced that this puzzle is complete, you took an oath that you would acquit. Why do I say that? This is not a one-way street. This is going to be a two-way street. It can only be a two-way street if you're willing to listen, and as you all took an oath, not make up your mind prematurely. How many people will conclude after opening statement that my client is guilty? And you haven't heard not one piece of evidence. Not one. Your job is to keep an open mind. Because somebody said they're an expert? Does that mean they're an expert? There are going to be gaps that need to be filled. And the state of Ohio has to fill them. I'm not going to go over each and every testimony here now. But you promise you will be open-minded and listen carefully to the testimony as is given from the witness stand. Listen very carefully to each witness and what they have to say. What was going on the night before, what was going on Sunday, what was going on Monday. Look at the evidence that actually pertains to every part. Not evidence that the state wants you to jump into. Well, we want you to assume. This is not an assumption case. This is proof beyond a reasonable doubt case. You don't have to solve anything. The state doesn't convince you of each and every element that Mr. O'Brien talked about pertaining to these crimes. Even though it might be sad and may be hard, you said you could do it, you have to acquit. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll hold you to your oath. We want to thank you in advance for your willingness to come and serve and help us out on this. We'll rely on you to do what you said you'll do. Again, we won't be able to talk to you until after this is over with. But this is undoubtedly a very tough case with hard facts for anybody, let alone you folks. We just hope that you're able to use your common sense when it comes to this puzzle and hold the state to the burden that they willingly accept. And I think after you hear it all, you'll be able to reach your own conclusion as to each and every charge in this case. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much again.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Counsel, please approach. Off the record. Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take about a 15-minute break at this time. It's about a 20-minute break. So we need you back in the jury room at about 10 after. Okay, about 10 after. Remember the admonitions that I've given you with respect to discussing this case among yourselves or with anyone else. All rise for the jury. You may be seated, everyone. See everyone back in about 15, 20 minutes.